Ho, 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 and Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Kwanzaa if you celebrate that. Hey, everybody, got a good show for you today. It is show number 451, December 21st, 2016. Stay tuned. Here it comes.
You're tuned in to the Elevator Radio Show, a weekly program dedicated to covering news and information on elevators, escalators, and moving walkways. Produced in the wee hours of the morning, a new show is uploaded every Wednesday, sometimes even before you get out of bed. Listen to some of the comments sent in from our audience.
Rob from New York writes, Tom, are you f***ing insane? You actually get up at 2 a.m. each Wednesday to put this show out? Man, you must love elevators. Tim from Illinois writes, I'm not sure why I listened, but ever since I tuned into the first show back in 2007, I've been addicted. Matt in Texas writes, I like your safety messages, Tom. It's important to remember them each and every day. And he also adds,
when am I going to win the monthly prize pack giveaway?
Ron from California sent this in. Despite your inability to pronounce words in the English language, I tune in each week and am glad that you offer this service to the industry. It's better than Google News alerts. Sarah from Washington writes, love the show, Tom, and look forward to it each week. I'm glad I signed up for the newsletter. You provide a valuable resource for the industry, not only for North America, but worldwide.
Enjoy the show. And now, here's your sleep-deprived host, Tom Seibert.
Thank you, everybody. Yes, good to be here this Wednesday morning, where it is our pre-Christmas show, if you can believe it. Yeah, it is our pre-Christmas show. So just want to do a quick shout out to all of you out there. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Happy Kwanzaa if you celebrate that. And yeah, only a few more days. If you're like me and wait until the last minute to do your Christmas shopping, just see if Santa can give you a hand, right? Right. I cannot move this down. This is killing me. Yeah, if you're watching the YouTube video today, you'll notice that I'm wearing a different outfit. I didn't spend a whole lot of time putting it together. But yeah, I seemed to pull it off a little bit, maybe. I don't know, maybe not. Anyway, it is good to be here this Wednesday morning. And man, the weather in the last 2 weekends and weeks have been kind of nasty between the cold Arctic, polar vortex, whatever the heck they call it these days, and soon they'll probably be naming the cold fronts that come in, like they do all major storms. But yeah, it's just been a frigid couple of weeks here in Chicago, and it makes it it's cold when you walk out of the house in the morning and you're like, oh, it's pretty nice out, and then you look at the temperature in your car, it's like 27 degrees, and you're like, yeah, it's still pretty nice out, better than a negative number. But yeah, the snow came. I think we're gonna get more snow this weekend. So yeah, and today's the first day of winter. Is the winter solstice. So every day from this point forward, we'll get a little bit longer in terms of light that we'll see, at least those of us in the northern hemisphere, and those of you in the southern hemisphere are going to slowly see that disappear, which I'm totally good with. So anyway, we got a shorter show for you today. Not a ton of content on the program, but still content to talk about. And just as a quick PSA, I want to let everybody know to make sure you take time for yourselves, as stressful as things can be. Even with at the end of the day with present giving and all that, just try to take some time for yourself to relax a little bit and try not to get stressed out. I think I would have to say probably Christmas is probably one of the biggest holidays where people have heart attacks. I would think. I could be wrong on that. Somebody, if you want to do I'm sure somebody tracks holiday heart attacks and holiday health issues, and I want to say that Christmas probably is one of the most stressful. I don't know what the second stressful one would be, but yeah. So just take some time for yourself if you're able to, and I'll do the same myself because I don't always get a chance to do that. Hey, thanks to everybody who sent Christmas cards in, and also who sent email Christmas cards and called me, and great to hear from everybody. I appreciate it. You are my friends. You are my family. You are my industry. You are people that I care a great deal about. So as always, I'm thankful for all of you out there for listening to the program. I can't say it enough, really can't, because without you, I wouldn't be here today. So thank you for that. What else? Oh, I got sick over the weekend. Yeah, that was a big news. Yeah, went into the weekend on a Friday. Saturday morning felt like total crap. And what I typically do is I typically wait forever, like 2-3 weeks before calling the doctor, and this time, I just bypassed the doctor totally, had some antibiotics in the kitchen, in the medicine cabinet from a previous illness, and just started popping those. In 2 days, I felt like a new person. And it just goes to show you that you know your body better than most people do, so don't let your doctor tell you, like mine has in many years in the past, that antibiotics would not fix what was wrong with my sinus infection, or didn't believe I had a sinus infection, because when your brain is burning, you know you've got something going on. So listen to your body, wash your hands, and I hope you don't get sick, because there's a lot of crap going on out there. So anyway, we will have a show next week, and many of you are going to have, I think, Monday and Friday off. I forgot what the union holidays are, but I'll be back. I'll be off on Monday. And this Friday, and then the following Friday. So got quite a few days off. It's my heater in the background. So yeah, it's going to be, and unfortunately, the shorter weeks are really stressful in terms of getting jobs out, getting work done. And if you're like me, you walk in every day to your job, and literally there's probably 2 or 3 things that could take all day long not to, and that's just par for the course. And then when you throw in a couple of little hiccups along the way, it just makes for a long day. So hang in there. Remember, they're only elevators, and getting home to your family at the end of each and every day is the most important priority. So remember that. All right. So we'll get into the news next, and have you out here in no time. All right. So up next is the news.
Let this week's news stories give you a lift on what's happening in the vertical transportation arena. Each news segment is organically dug and fresh with news stories of the week. Got lift? If not, stay tuned.
All right, I'm pretty excited after probably what felt like 40 hours of technical support with myself and my computer and turning it off and on a million times. We did get camera number 2 back online. How exciting is that, right? So I'm going to throw this out there to anybody out there who is interested in a Microsoft Cinema HD camera. I have them. I have about 3 of them that are pretty much brand new. Love to give them away to any of you listeners out there that are interested in getting a webcam for your computer. I'd love to send them to you. I don't know if you ever use them or not, but if you're got one at home, let me know. So I've got those. They'll probably go pretty quickly. This is not prize pack giveaway, but if you're interested, I have them and love to give them away. So shoot me an email, but do it on my daytime email address instead of my my work one here at elevatorradioshow.com. I've not been so great in checking that one. So go send it to tom.sybert, SYBERT, at cjanderson.com, and I'll get back to you. So, okay, cool. All right, we'll get into the show notes here. Okay, I hope you like the image that I posted with the blog post, because I like it. And I haven't watched the new Star Wars movie, but I do intend on doing that next weekend probably. So I missed the last one. I got to go back and watch that. But somebody told me it has nothing to do with, anything that's going on. But here you go. You got an escalator with some stormtroopers on it, and then Santa Claus right in the middle of it. So enjoy that. Something you don't see every day. And hopefully your Santa sightings are good, and not, Santa's, drunk in a bar somewhere, or doing an Elevator Radio Show podcast, right? Okay. Good news, or I think this is positive, a positive step in the right direction. Labor Press has an article talking about it took the deaths of 29 construction workers killed on mostly non-union job sites around town over the last 2 years has led to the creation of new legislation set to debut early 2017. Requires apprentice training on certain types of new development citywide. I don't understand why New York, out of all places, would not have some type of apprentice training program, certification program for anybody that works in the trades. Not to say that union and non-union, one is better than the other. I'm not going to say that. With the union, you definitely have a training program. You have a safety program. You have all sorts of stuff, which the city and OSHA are all supposed to be checking up on and verifying. So, yeah, 26 of those happened on non-union projects. The balance on other ones. So, I think it's long overdue. I don't know what the holdup is. I don't know why in a city with the stature of New York would not have done this already, or recognize that it just makes sense to make sure that there's legislation in place to to ensure that workers are safe. I don't know how else to do that. So the reality is that the expense of profits, people dying, is totally unacceptable, as noted in the article. So hopefully this will make a difference, and we won't read or hear about any deaths that occurred on any kind of job site like this. So yeah, so that I don't mean to say it's a good thing, but it's definitely something that had a good result. So hopefully that goes as far as it, much further in the trades to ensure that people that are working on equipment are oh gosh, it's going to load some video. I'm sorry. Just bear with me. Okay. Are safe. Everybody needs to be safe at the end of the day. All right. And not to say everybody's perfect, but if we have everybody on the same page, it'll definitely help out. And the Elevator Safety Summit is, make sure you have that on your calendar. We'll talk about that more in January. Darn it, that scared me. Oh, man, I hate that stuff. I hate that stuff. And I think New York NBC is probably going to block my YouTube page because of the image in there. Anyway, getting back to the Elevator Safety Summit next May, we're going to get Bob Shepard on the program, do an interview, and just kind of go over what's going on with that. So, which is going to be pretty huge. Okay, next news article: Atlantic Terminal Mall shoppers fall on escalator. Love to see the video on this. Not that I'd really love to see the video, but the reality is I'm not going to click on the link. I'll let everybody do it on their own. Somebody had fallen and then basically had a domino effect down the escalator. But I would be curious to know how many people were holding onto their phones and not the escalator handrails and not really paying attention to their surroundings. How many accidents do you think happen because of that? I would say probably quite a few. Not just car driven, but just walking around the world, So anyway. There's a good article on the history of elevators, which is kind of cool. It goes way deep into, Egyptian times and some of the first devices, et cetera, but it's pretty cool. Didn't quite understand. I kind of thought this might have been some kind of marketing piece, but it has a couple elevator companies, or actually 3 of them linked in the article. Talks a little bit about the space elevator, but yeah, I think it's pretty cool. So check it out. Gives you some information you may not have already known, even though you're in the industry, about some of the first uses of elevators and when they were, where they were used. So I think it's pretty neat. It's a pretty long article too. Okay, 7 cool elevators around the world. This is one of those. It's coming from digitaltrends.com. Kind of hate these articles. I don't hate the articles, but I hate the way these websites pop up because of the bot. They got a million ads in them, and then literally, I don't know how they get to regurgitate their material. But then they got all the stupid stuff on the bottom of the web. But anyway, it's still interesting. It's something that we haven't seen before. But if you have been lucky enough to work on or ride any of these equipments, you are definitely pretty lucky. Not that. Okay, next article. Escalator at Metro sits idle due to failed inspection. Yeah, look at it outside. It's an outside escalator with no canopy over it. It should not be running outside. What elevator runs outside without a canopy other than this one? Yeah, it should sit idle. Come on now. Yeah, doesn't seem like this should even be an article. But yeah, the reason why it's not, yeah. Can you imagine the snow out there? This is in the Huntington Metro station. I wonder what snow would do to an escalator. I'm sure there's videos out there and, just crazy. Here's another article or video. Woman falls backwards down escalator. Now, when you watch the video, she is definitely inebriated or something or tired because you see her falter and then just fall over. And I mean, it could have been a medical condition or seizure or something, but literally it's kind of scary. So I was kind of thinking that when I read the article, that she might have been busy with her cell phone, but that was not the case. It just looks like she was extremely tired. But glad she was okay. Could have been much worse, as the previous incident with the escalator as well. But still, hate to read about these kind of situations. But with the malls being as crowded as they are, you're going to see a lot more people on escalators. So be real careful. Be aware of people not riding them safe and say something about it, because it's all of our jobs to do that. Okay, Elevator Maker thinks outside the box, even sideways. Here's an article from Reuters. And again, I'm not quite sure where this is coming from, but it's a article kind of going over Schindler's Schindler Elevator or Schindler Corporation, I should say. Talks a little bit about ThyssenKrupp, talks about their innovation, Schindler. So it's kind of it appears to be a piece that goes over some of the new technology that Schindler's offering, albeit it's it's just an interesting article. You read it, and you'll know what I'm talking about. So, link is in the show notes. This is in routers, whatever you want to call it, online. Okay. Next news article: elevator funding talked about for Carlsbad Caverns. It's current Argus, and they're talking about how to raise money and getting money. And Flato Fabulous. Get out of this thing. Get the look. Hey, how many of you out there remember AOL? Do you remember seeing those little CDs everywhere in the grocery stores? And it's the only way you could get online. Well, you know what their demise was? Was basically shoving advertising down your throat with pop-up ads, and you didn't want it. That was without asking for permission. So anyway, they were kind of the pre-Google precursor, but it makes me not want to even go to this link anymore. And I apologize for sharing it because it's with the pop-up. Okay, the next news article. This is, and I'm not gonna click on this because I don't want to give it any kind of. Well, I'll click on it. This is what our news has become, and I'm not gonna click on it because it's just ad revenue for stupid stuff online. Excuse me. And there must have been 10 different articles covering a rat on an escalator, this is the problem with where our news is at and where our media is at, and it's really a shame. And we all accept it. It's not like we demand anything differently, but it's just a bunch of, it's like, come on. 4 different news organizations, including some pretty notable ones, picking this up. I mean, are you that desperate to get content so you could just push advertising to it? If you are, shame on you. It's really unfortunate. It really is. So, okay, Marine Lift Company expands into home elevator market. This is a company I've never heard of before, and it was a company of in North Carolina, Tide Tamer Industries. They manufacture marine lifts, cargo elevators, and related products. Home elevator lift products is investing. Heal? Anyway, it's a pretty lengthy article. They're investing for the home market, and I don't know. Is the home elevator market picking up? Seems to be like it seems like there's so many companies making them these days. I mean, more than we had before, and man, very competitive market. I was just kind of surprised to see this. I don't know if this is Hidrail or Hydra, or I don't know who this is, but anyway, link is in the show notes. If somebody wants to set me straight, feel free to. One of my favorite movies of all time was Elf, and if you'd like to...
Here's 2 pieces of good advice. Number 1, switch to Geico and you could save hundreds. Number 2...
All right. I'm not encouraging anybody to switch to Geico. But anyway, you can watch a little snippet of this and a bunch of other ones from Elf, the movie, which is one of my favorite movies. Yes, it's absolutely stupid and insanely dumb, which is the same thing. But as a dad, when I got that from a good friend of mine who worked for the company that produced it, I'll never forget watching certain parts of it with my kids just cracking up beyond belief at the silliest things, So enjoy it, and the great elevator scene where Elf gets in our buddy gets in the elevator car and basically sees one button lit up and then lights them all because it looks like a Christmas tree. Anyway, the NAC spring conference dates have changed. So mark your calendar, change your plane reservations and all that good stuff. March 26th to the 29th, Scottsdale, Arizona. And it looks like the NAC 2017 starts in 101 days. I think that is the thing. So let's see here. Nothing is full agenda. Let's see if there's a full agenda there. Not a bunch of stuff. Anyway, but you can link that in the show notes. I think it was gonna be, I forgot when it was gonna be. It was gonna be some other month. But just make sure you're aware of this and you change any kind of arrangements that you've already made. I'm sure you've already been notified about it if you were registered. Okay, escalator accidents in Malaysia. This article coming from MalaysiaKini.com sheds some serious issues where you might be thinking to yourself, wow. Hard to believe. Okay, so this article talking about escalators and how they should be minimized or something needs to be done. Well, according to the Department of Occupational Health and Safety, DOSH, 97% of escalator accidents reported from 2011-2015 have involved young children. Scary. Yes, that's why we have the ESF. That's why we do our best to make sure the kids are educated so that their dumb parents or their parents that are oblivious don't put them on and say, go play on the escalator. Anyway, yeah, when you've got issues, when you've got stories in Malaysia where little boys are getting their testicles caught in escalators, there are some educational issues that people don't know, and they're pretty serious. So it's time to act to stop escalator accidents from happening, as it already became rampant in Malaysia. How safe are our escalators? So this is the other kind of concerning part. Escalators in Malaysia were designed according to the EN 115-1 standard, which regulates the safety features of an escalator. The Factories and Machinery Act of 1967, you heard me right, 1967, states that an escalator must receive a certificate of fitness to operate, which is renewable every 15 months. 1967. I know they had escalators back then. Anyway, yeah, there's some issues in Malaysia, so be careful. But yeah, 97% or whatever percentage that was with the young kids, that's not equipment malfunctioning at all. It's just kids not knowing or understanding how dangerous they can be. So that's my PSA for everybody out there. We need to share the word. If you see parents with kids, make sure they're aware of what's going on. It's huge. Okay, and the last news article of the show, man, we came to that pretty quick. CEA meeting. Chicago Elevator Association meeting, the first January Thursday of the month, January 15th. Maytot's going to be presenting, so at the clubhouse in Oak Brook. So I encourage you to check that out then. And it's going to be a cold day probably, but still worth it to come out and network and see what's going on in the meeting. January PDF is online as well. So anyway, that is going to be it for the show today. I want to thank everybody for tuning in as always. Ho, ho, ho. Hopefully you've been nice and not naughty. And, as you take the next next couple weekends with a little extra time off, hopefully, just think about, reflect on last year, think about where you want to be next year, what you want to accomplish. And without a plan, most of us don't get to where we want to get to. So start thinking about a plan for yourself. And as always, be safe and make sure family comes first. All right? And that will do it for the show, everybody. Everybody have a great Christmas. Don't stress out. Don't drink too much. Don't eat too much, which we all do. And we'll see you next Wednesday, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.